y'all, Jamie here with Country Diggers. Before we get started today, I wanted to tell you at 2,000 subscribers, I'm going to do a giveaway. And I won't be giving away this. No way, Jose. But I will be giving away some pirate cards, playing cards. And it's got like, the cards has information about pirate stuff on it. So I'll be giving those away, a pack of those. And I'll be giving away this puzzle, this Lost Treasure Logic puzzles. Be giving away them. And you can reuse these too. You can reuse these. But it's just a little puzzle game. And this right here, I'll be giving away. It's like you can unwrap it. See, it's got something right here that's holding. You can unwrap it, put your pencils, a small notebook or something in there. And it's got a map and whatever that is. Compass. That's what that is. But yeah, and it's leather. I don't know if it's real leather or not, but it feels like leather. And then this right here, this little sign that says Barrett'S Island. It's got the pirate on there and Barrett'S Island. And I'll be giving that away. And this will all be given away to one person because I don't have enough money to ship things anymore. Shipping has got so bad, so high. So it's going to be one person gets it all. And the United States is the only place I'm shipping it to, United States. I'm sorry about the rest. But shipping has got so high, I can't do it. So just one person gets all that at 2,000 subscribers. And I'll put a comment video out pretty soon for it. All right, today we're going to be talking about Barrett's Privateers. It's a modern sea shanty by Stan Rogers. He wrote and released it in 1977. And I'll be talking some about it because even though it's fictional, a fictional song, it's still got historical context to it. So we'll be discussing some of that. All right. Barrett's Privateers by Stan Rogers. Oh, the year was 1778. How I wish I was in Sherbrooke now. A letter of marque came from the king to the scrummiest vessel I've ever seen. I was told we'd cruise the seas for American gold. We'd fire no guns, shed no tears. Now I'm a broken man on a Halifax pier, the last of Barrett's privateers. Oh, Elsie Barrett, cried the town, how I wish I was in Sherbrooke now. For 20 brave men, all fishermen, who would make for him the Antelope's crew. I was told we'd cruise the seas for American gold. We'd fire no guns, shed no tears. Now I'm a broken man on a Halifax pier, the last of Barrett's privateers. The Antelope's sloop was a sickening sight. How I wish I was in Sherbrooke now. She'd a list to the port and her sails in rags, and the cook and the scoopers with the staggers and jags. I was told we'd cruise the seas for American gold. We'd fire no guns, shed no tears. Now I'm a broken man on a Halifax pier, the last of Barrett's privateers. On the king's birthday we put to sea. How I wish I was in Sherbrooke now. We were 91 days to Montego Bay, pumping like madmen all the way. I was told we cruised the seas for American gold. We'd fire no guns and shed no tears. Now I'm a broken man on a Halifax pier, the last of Barrett's privateers. On the 96th day we sailed again. How I wish I was in Sherbrooke now, when a bloody great Yankee have in sight, with our cracked 4-pounders we made to fight. I was told we'd cruise the seas for American gold. We'd fire no guns, shed no tears. I'm a broken man on a Halifax pier, the last of Barrett's privateers. The Yankee lay low down with gold. How I wish I was in Sherbrooke now. She was broad and fat and loose in the stays, but to catch her took the Antelope 2 whole days. I was told we'd cruise the seas for American gold. We'd fire no guns, shed no tears. Now I'm a broken man on a Halifax pier, the last of Barrett's privateers. Then at length we stood 2 cables away. How I wish I was in Sherbrooke now. Our cracked 4-pounders made an awful din, but with one fat ball the Yanks stove us in. I was told we'd cruise the seas for American gold. We'd fire no guns, shed no tears. Now I'm a broken man on a Halifax pier, the last of Barrett's privateers. The Antelope shook and pitched on her side. How I wish I was in Sherbrooke now. Barrett was smashed like a bowl of eggs, and the main truck carried off both me legs. I was told we'd cruise the seas for American gold. We'd fire no guns, shed no tears. Now I'm a broken man on a Halifax pier, the last of Barrett's privateers. So here I lay in my 23rd year. How I wish I was in Sherbrooke now. It's been 6 years since we sailed away, and I just made Halifax yesterday. I was told we'd cruise the seas for American gold. We'd fire no guns and shed no tears. Now I'm a broken man on a Halifax pier, the last of Barrett's privateers. All right. Whew. Now on to the story. All right, I'm going to read this article by tedtalkcovers.wordpress.com, and it was written in 2021. So it says, it was exactly 45 years ago that Stan Rogers recorded Barrett's Privateers before a captivated audience at the Northern Lights Festival Barrett'S in Sudbury, Ontario. Performed in a sea shanty style, Barrett's Privateers has become an essential song in pubs, folk festivals, universities, dorms, and living rooms across Canada and around the world. The well-known original recording appeared on Rogers' debut album, Fogarty's Cove, that was released in 1977, another folk classic. Those who are familiar with Barrett's Privateers will agree that beyond the alluring a cappella style, the best part of the song is Rogers' attention to detail within the song's story. This only adds to the authenticity. It is likely a history lesson in less than 5 minutes. Barrett's Privateers is written from the perspective of a 16-year-old who is drawn to the sea and the promise of adventure at the prospect of cruising the seas for American gold in 1778. He enlists in L.C. Barrett's Antelope. Rogers utilizes the literary technique of foreshadowing in the first verse as he refers to the ship as the scummiest vessel I'd ever seen. From there, the young man reflects on the 6 years of his life with an empathetic, I was told we'd cruise the seas for American gold. We'd fire no guns, shed no tears. Now I'm a broken man on Halifax Pier, the last of Barrett'S privateers. As the young man was enrolling, the Antelope received a letter of marque from King George III to set sail as a privateering ship. The Antelope is described as a sloop, which means a single-mast fore and aft rigged vessel that was used for short-range privateers in Atlantic Canada. They were not meant for battle or the unpredicted waters of the West Indies. So naturally, the Antelope and crew headed to Montego Bay, Jamaica, as an uneventful journey that took 3 months. It was on the return trip that the trouble began. They encountered an American merchant ship with a cargo comprised mainly of gold. The Antelope and the American vessel jostled for 2 days, mainly because the sloop is ill-equipped for the task. The limited mobility of the vessel was an issue, and the cracked 4-pounder cannons were inadequate in a battle on the high seas. The encounter accumulates in a horrific combination of events that includes the sloop being capsized with 1 volley of cannon shots. The song's narrator witnesses the death of Elsie Barrett and the rest of the crew. The only survivor was indeed the narrator, but not before the trunk of the main mast carried off both my legs. As the song concludes, 6 years later, in his 23rd year, it is 1784. The narrator has returned to Halifax and is hanging out on a pier and reflecting on the fate that befell him 6 years earlier, only longing to go back to his home in Sherbrooke. And, let's see. Through the years, fans of folk music and historians have weighed in on Barrett'S privateers in order to validate elements of Rogers' sea shanty. The beauty of the song, in addition to its catchy presentation, is the fact that it stands up to the rest. Without getting into too much detail, the premise speaks to a time when privateering vessels were very common on both sides of the Atlantic. Historically speaking, in 1778, the 13 colonies in the form of the newly established United States and England were in the midst of the American Revolution, so opportunities for privateering were plentiful. In addition to Rogers' initial premise of the song, details related to names, nautical terminology, and even the cracked 4-pound cannons are in check with the error. As much as battles between privateers and merchant ships were relatively uncommon because the goal was to bring back the ship and its valuable cargo. There are 2 examples of bloody privateer battles off the coast of Halifax during the period that Stan Rogers writes about. The first is known as the Battle off Halifax in 1780, which ended with the loss of 51 lives. A follow-up battle in 1782 resulted in the deaths of 10 sailors, including the American captain David Ropes. During the time of the American Revolution, Halifax and the entire Nova Scotia area was under constant threat of attack from American vessels as they aimed to raid coastal communities for anything valuable. These events were also an attack on the perceived loyalists and sympathies to their homeland. Ending the song on the Halifax Pier is also extremely telling because the famous harbor has long been a well-known port. In the late 1700s, it was definitely the port of choice for privateers working along the Atlantic coast. In fact, the only dubious note within the song may be the repetitive longing. Oh, I wish I was in Sherbrooke now. But there could be an explanation here too. It seems the town of Sherbrooke in Nova Scotia was named after John Coop Sherbrooke. I'm not sure I'm saying I think I'm saying that right. Sherbrooke, Sherbrooke, Sherbrooke. But when the song concluded in 1784, Sherbrooke was only 20 years old. He came to prominence many years later during the War of 1812. Perhaps Stan Rogers' reference to "I wish I was in Sherbrooke now" was offered as a personal reflection. Sherbrooke, Nova Scotia does represent the roots of the Rogers family, so there may be a familiar connection there. He may have been likening his life as a traveling musician, traveling to make ends meet, to that of the uncertainty of life on the high seas in the late 1700s. The analogy works in many ways, especially when you read the book Night Drive, Travels with My Brother by Garnet Rogers. This tells the tale of the highs and lows of constant touring and the frustration of being virtually alone on the road and never knowing what the next gig will bring. The anecdotes are often hilarious, and on some occasions they are gut-wrenchingly sad. They are always honest and incredibly detailed. As the reader, you feel like you are along for the ride as the humble band frugally makes their way from festival to festival, often thinking to themselves, "Oh, I wish I was in Sherbrooke now." But once they hit the stage, they gave everything to their audience. Stan Rogers would have it no other way. Sadly, Stan Rogers died tragically in 1983. He was returning to his home in Dundas, Ontario, from a festival in Dallas, Texas. The Air Canada flight he was on developed a fire in the washroom, and the cabin filled with smoke. The plane made an emergency landing in Cincinnati, Ohio, and attempted to evacuate the passengers, but Rogers and 22 others were believed to have succumbed to smoke inhalation. Nearly 40 years later, Barrett'S Privateers and many other songs by Stan Rogers are celebrated in the folk music genre and beyond. In fact, Stan Rogers is revered. So, hope you enjoyed that. And also, there were other groups to sing it too. I think the most recent, maybe the Longest Johns. They sing the what's that? The Wellerman. Okay, Stan Rogers, the Longest Johns, and the Men They Couldn't Hang. Now, I have got the version of the Men They Couldn't Hang songs, but you can find them on YouTube, and I do have them on my playlist of murder ballads and traditional music and Celtic songs and stuff like that. But I do have them on my playlist. So, hope you enjoyed. Don't forget, 2,000 subscribers, and we'll have a giveaway, U.S. only. Sorry, but that's got to be it. All right, talk to y'all later. See you later. Bye.